Not good. Emperor Guisu, Wuxing God King and Cloud Sky God King all changed color. Having explored the dream domain multiple times, they were far more experienced than Luo Feng and knew the terrifying aspects of such massive dream realm creature groups. The most terrifying thing about the dream realm creatures group was their ability to coordinate their powers perfectly, as if they were a single entity. Boom, the whole world began to turn bloody, and the rules of the dream domain were changing around the hundreds of stone monsters at the core, their endless hatred directed towards Luo Feng and the others. The surrounding vast area exerted a tremendous binding and compressing force, squeezing Luo Feng and the four of them. This binding and compressing force was not physical strength, it was a rule. Luo Feng's power of the world could not be weakened, and the means of Emperor Guisu and the others could not resist. They could only withstand it forcibly. The more dream realm creatures there are, the greater their impact on the rules of the dream domain. Hundreds of dream realm creatures have already significantly altered the surrounding rules. We need to find a way to escape, transmitted Emperor Guisu. My hidden sky tunneling technique is also suppressed by the dream domain's rules, unable to remain hidden, Wuxing God King also transmitted anxiously. Any escape technique, including those from Two Realms Palace, Wanfa Tower and Time-Space Lonely Boat led by alien races, failed to hide under the rules prescribed by alien races. If they could hide, they would be able to steal various rare treasures at will. My poison fog is also being suppressed and cannot spread. Even though Cloud Sky God King's poison fog was invisible and hard to detect at this moment, the operational rules of the dream domain suppressed it from all directions. Roar. Accompanied by the roar of the largest stone monster, a large group of stone monsters attacked at once, making the whole world tremble. Emperor Guisu immediately displayed his 8 arms and collided with the stone monster leader. Bang! The stone monster leader, being incredibly large, swung down its massive arm with no finesse, only endless overwhelming power. Meanwhile, Emperor Guisu's 8 arms held weapons, enabling him to deflect, transform the force and counterattack with many subtle techniques. However, with one collision, Emperor Guisu was shaken back flying, while the stone monster leader only took one step back. Don't clash head-on with it at all costs, transmitted Emperor Guisu. Its strength is comparable to mine. In terms of prowess, the stone monster leader far surpassed him. However, in terms of realm, Emperor Guisu's was high enough to fight an evenly matched battle. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Wuxing God King drew his sword. The moment he drew his sword, it created countless densely packed sword shadows, which covered all the stone monsters. The intangible domain naturally weakened these sword shadows, but they still landed on every stone monster. For those stone monsters of large size, they remained completely unharmed. Only those smaller ones showed some scars on their surface. A move that divided into numerous sword shadows, while not particularly powerful, also allowed Wuxing God King to understand the details of the whole Dream Realm creature group. This Dream Realm creatures group, its leader has reached the peak of the 2nd level of the God King realm, and there are also 92 others that can be considered as being in the 2nd realm of Godly King. Moreover, over 200 qualify as being in the 1st realm of Godly King, each with an extremely resilient body. Wuxing God King immediately transmitted to his companions. In the distance, the team from Two Realms Palace was present. The white-haired palace master utilized secret technique, causing the clash between the Stone Monster Group and Reincarnation Tower team to appear before him in the air. This massive Dream Realm creature group unites their powers to form a domain of rules. It suppresses all extensive domains, making escape difficult for the Reincarnation Tower. Members of the Two Realms Palace watched with pleasure. These Dream Realm creatures have the strength of the 2nd realm of Godly Kingdom, numbering close to 100, the white-haired palace master said with a smile. Together they can easily crush the Reincarnation Tower. It would be quite an achievement if even one of those 4 survives. Dream Realm creatures don't care about secret treasure weapons. After they die we can collect the treasures they leave behind, haha. It's about time the Reincarnation Tower took a big loss. They watched from afar. Besides the palace master, the other 6 were also at the peak of the 2nd level of God King realm, each a ruler in the land of origin. In the outside world they seldom had conflicts. However, in certain treasure-rich areas, their contradictions were substantial. For instance, if they discovered an extremely precious treasure, would they yield? Naturally they wouldn't. Conflict after conflict, resentment accumulated over time. The struggle for resources in the land of origin was complex. The independent godly kings had conflicts and grudges among themselves, just like the mountain-sitting guest who deeply resented the 3 rulers of the Hensi country. Many independent godly kings also competed with the 2 ancient countries, some befriended and others sided with these ancient powers. Even within the 2 ancient countries the emperors and monarchs would turn against each other. You killed my disciple's entire family and stole my cultivation resources? So what if you're also an emperor? If you can act ruthlessly, can't I retaliate? Among these beings of long lifespans, only a few remained in very good terms. Reincarnation Tower. The white-haired palace master watched the scene from afar. His true body was powerful enough to rival the ancestors of the 2 countries, and among the resources left by Yuan, only the very top tier attracted him. This Reincarnation Tower has spoiled my plans multiple times. The white-haired palace master had suffered losses too. Reincarnation Tower has the Wind City Empress and the Earth God King. Their high-level strength far exceeds ours. For many powerhouses in the land of origin, the members of Reincarnation Tower were a secret. However, for the white-haired palace master, as soon as he had seen them once, he identified the identities of the Wind City Empress and the Earth God King. But what good was breaking their identities? Once the teams of the Wind City Empress and the Earth God King from the Reincarnation Tower entered a treasure site, the teams from the Two Realms Palace, Wanfa Tower and Time-Space Lonely Boat couldn't compare. However, when exploring treasure lands, the number of strong fighters is also very important. The Two Realms Palace had many members, being the first major force in the shadows, with multiple teams exploring treasure lands. As a palace master deploying avatars to assist, he naturally expected a large share of merit points. Most of these treasures he didn't keep for himself. Instead, he exchanged them for the chance-based treasures he needed. Emperor Guisu transmitted urgently, "We must find the weaknesses of this dream realm creature group as soon as possible, then use the weaknesses to make a quick escape. If we delay too long, we won't be able to escape. Except for Brother Witchheart, I fear none of us can escape," Cloud Sky God King also said urgently. In the team, neither Emperor Guisu nor Cloud Sky God King had an avatar. Once their true body died, even if they could cultivate again using the resurrection carrier, starting over and nurturing the primordial bloodline to regain peak strength would be a huge expense. It might take exploring the dream realm 10 times to make up for it. I'll try to find the weaknesses. Wuxing God King transformed into a blur of flowing light in an instant. The flowing light spread, intending to cover a group of stone monsters. However, the largest stone monster leader, upon seeing the vast expanse of blurry light, let out a furious roar. With this roar, heaven and earth trembled, the world twisted, and the might caused even Emperor Guisu to slightly change his expression, also forcing Wuxing God King's flowing light to recondense into his true body. Phew. Even though the Cloud Sky God King had cultivated the primordial bloodline and possessed an extremely formidable physique, he was still roared at until his skin cracked open. LuoFeng's world life form also felt quite uncomfortable. "This leader is too difficult to deal with," the Wuxing God King said anxiously. "This time the trouble is big." Emperor Guisu waved his 8 arms, struggling to resist. "Let me try," Luo Fong suddenly transmitted. "Huh." Emperor Guisu, Wuxing God King and Cloud Sky God King all paused in surprise. He's going to try? Facing this vast group of dream realm creatures, mainly Emperor Guisu and Wuxing God King were devising a response strategy and did not expect the Cloud Sky God King or the Luohe God King, both at the first realm of the Godly King, to be of much help. Luo Fong had merely observed for a moment and had already gathered a lot of intelligence on the stone monster group, forming a plan in his mind. Whoosh. Standing still, Luo Fong suddenly transformed into a dense swarm of black shadows, dark figures darting in every direction. Luo Fong avoided the 4 strongest stone monsters. Based on his earlier observations, the stone monster leader was comparable to Emperor Guisu, and 3 extremely powerful stone monsters each had strength akin to the Emperor of Tianquan. Luo Fong chose to give up completely, leaving them to Brother Guisu and Brother Wuxing to handle. As for the other stone monsters, Luo Fong took them all on. Huff huff huff. The 200+ First Realm God King tier stone monsters encountered over 200 black-scaled, golden-horned Luo Fongs. Each avatar was merely a 1/10,000th energy reserve of a world life form. Each used only simple techniques, which also kept the burden on spiritual will sufficiently low. Even using simple techniques, a world life form with 1/10,000th energy reserve still had the ultimate strength of a First Realm God King tier, perfectly entangling these stone monsters. The stone monsters moved clumsily and so did Luo Feng. The bodies of the stone monsters were tough and nearly impossible to destroy, and so was Luo Feng's. He had no intention of destroying these stone monsters. Entangling them was much simpler than destruction. Huff huff huff. There were also 89 Second Realm God King tier stone monsters, each encountering avatars with 1/2000th energy reserves. These avatars were slightly weaker than when Luo Feng had fought against the Emperor of Tianquan, but because he had mastered all 6 branches of the Great Tao of Destruction origin, Luo Feng's combat methods had greatly improved. These 89 avatars, merely adequate in technique for a Godly King tier, held an absolute advantage in technique against the stone monsters. And these 89 stone monsters were generally weaker than the Emperor of Tianquan. Contending with 89 Second Realm God King tier stone monsters with 89 avatars, Luo Feng felt relatively manageable. He could still hold on, maintaining over 300 avatars at once. Even with Luo Feng's deep spiritual foundations, far surpassing any other Godly King, even though his spiritual will had already reached the ultimate bottleneck of a Godly King tier, he felt it was pushing the limit of what his mind could endure. Boom boom boom. The 300+ stone monsters and the 300+ black-scaled golden-horned figures tangled in a fierce brawl, both sides' bodies tough and nearly indestructible, brimming with vitality. The stone monster leader and the 3 extremely strong stone monsters were stunned. They were the only 4 not entangled. Even the well-traveled Emperor Guisu, Wuxing God King and Cloud Sky God King felt baffled. How is this possible? How could this be achievable? Impossible. Even the team from Two Realms Palace watching from a distance couldn't believe what they were seeing. Each of his avatars can contend with a dream realm creature. To simultaneously control so many avatars, it's like single-handedly manipulating a huge group of dream realm creatures by himself. Even if his techniques are clumsy, controlling such a vast life form, the burden on the soul, on the spiritual will, this is definitely not something a normal Godly King can do. a slender figure said. Over 300 avatars, each still so powerful? How does he control them? Has his spiritual will surpass the godly king tier? But on the land of origin, how many can do this? The dominant palace masters present couldn't believe it. Having seen much, they understood all the more how difficult this was to achieve. The white-haired palace master watched this scene and was also secretly astonished. This black-scaled, golden-horned one, I cannot even determine his identity from his aura. Obviously the concealment of his aura has reached an incredible degree. How does he control so many avatars? Soul path? Or is there another reason? The white-haired palace master firmly memorized the appearance of the black-scaled, golden-horned figure. Another mysterious powerhouse. Emperor Guisu, Wuxing God King and Cloud Sky God King were all stunned by Luo Feng. Brother Guisu, Brother Wuxing, aren't you going to make a move? The 300-plus black-scaled, golden-horned Luo Fengs urged simultaneously. I have already held them off, quickly break them one by one. Handling so many dream realm creatures at the same time, Luo Feng also felt tired. Okay. Emperor Guisu and Wuxing God King responded, while feeling their worldviews being overturned. A first-realm godly king actually able to achieve this? Explore hidden tales at Empire. Not long ago, wasn't Brother Luo he managing only 10 avatars when he contended with the Emperor of Tianquan? Wuxing God King's sword suddenly split into 12 swords, forming a sword array, and attacked the stone monster leader and 3 other formidable stone monsters simultaneously. Emperor Guisu and Wuxing God King worked together seamlessly. Seeing his friend deploy the sword array, he also burst forth entirely, his primordial bloodline fully unleashed, spreading surging crimson flames. Ignoring the extreme burst of power that damaged his physical body, Emperor Guisu also used one of his 2 ultimate realm secret techniques, Heaven and Earth Great Destruction. Boom boom boom. Emperor Guisu, with 8 arms wielding 8 weapons, twisted heaven and earth. With the first strike he wielded a massive hammer, cracking the colossal stone monster's body. The third strike was a black axe, which cleaved the stone monster's body in 2 with a painful wail. In the blink of an eye, a series of earth-shattering moves returned all things to chaos, turning that stone monster into a stream of chaotic energy. This scene astonished the other stone monsters. Emperor Guisu's explosion is truly fierce, Luo Feng murmured to himself. That stone monster was comparable in strength to the Emperor of Tianquan. Its tough body was not inferior to the Emperor of Tianquan's primordial bloodline, yet it was blasted into bits after more than 10 hits. Beautiful, exclaimed Wuxing God King with delight. Guisu, quickly eliminate those lesser stone monsters. I'll handle these 3 formidable ones. Now merely entangling the stone monster leader and 2 other formidable stone monsters, Wuxing God King's burden was significantly lightened. His sword array was fully capable. Roar. The stone monster leader roared angrily, and the other 2 formidable stone monsters also attacked furiously. The sword array of Wuxing God King was incredibly robust, trapping the 3 like a cage, allowing them to watch helplessly as Emperor Guisu, fully bursting forth, moved to slaughter the entangled stone monsters. Those over 300 stone monsters were being entangled by more than 300 Luo Feng's avatars. Boom. 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 Where Emperor Guisu passed, those stone monsters with the strength of second realm of godly king differed in power. The stronger ones required 3 or 4 moves to kill. The weaker ones might be smashed into pieces with one hammer blow. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 stone monsters were dead. The entire group of stone monsters started to stir. Although their intelligence was low, they could feel anger, fear and attachment to their peers. Converge, the furious stone monster leader roared, his voice carrying his will. Previously, this group of dream realm creatures had sought to trap Luo Feng and prevent their escape. But now, at the leader's command, they no longer dispersed but began to converge actively. The stone monster leader, with his 2 powerful subordinates, also actively moved to converge with the others. Booming sounds echoed. More than 300 avatars of Luo Feng could only entangle, not trap the enemy. As these stone monsters continued to converge, they naturally began to merge. They can merge into one, said Emperor Guisu. Wuxing God King laughed, they've given up surrounding us. Once merged into one while seemingly more robust they became a single entity. A clumsy entity, even with terrifying might, still couldn't stop the reincarnation tower team from escaping. Booming sounds, with the stone monster leader also converging with his kind and merging into it, the super large stone monster formed was immensely huge. Retreat. Luo Feng and his team were not afraid at all. With the escape techniques of Wuxing God King at the ultimate realm level, both the agility and speed of their flight were significantly superior to the super large stone monster, quickly losing it and fleeing far away. Roar. The super large stone monster stood there, roaring angrily and reluctantly, chasing for a few hundred steps, but Wuxing God King had already escaped from the influence of the dream realm creature's domain, completely disappearing. They actually let them escape. From a distance, members of the 2 realms palace felt somewhat regretful. Although the members of the reincarnation tower are strong, if surrounded by nearly 100 second realm god kings, they would probably have died in large numbers this time, said a winged woman, shaking her head. But this time there was one who was skilled in using avatars. Being able to simultaneously control hundreds of avatars, entangling 89 second realm dream realm creatures. Although it's just entangling, it's still quite remarkable. Land of origin, another troublesome being has risen. Observers from various parties watched. They all were Second Realm overlords, but they also understood that even within the Second Realm, differences were substantial. Like the boat master of the time-space lonely boat, who cultivated only one great Tao, the time primordial Tao, he was the highest achiever in this path across the entire land of origin. Even at the peak of the Second Realm of Godly King, he walked different timelines with 3 versions of himself. Even the emperors and monarchs of the land of origin found him a headache. Emperors and monarchs, even with ultimate realm life forms, could only interact with his present body, unable to threaten the time-space lonely boat's past body and future body. Like Wuxing God King, who never died a single time in his true body in his countless years of cultivation, except for that one time he willingly went to die through reincarnation, whether it was being surrounded by emperors or the dangers in various treasured lands. Such second-realm beings are naturally much stronger than those like the Emperor of Tianquan or the Monarch of Yu Country. He can entangle so many dream realm creatures because they are low in intelligence and simple in techniques. If he encounters God Kings, their moves are much more sophisticated, and he would find it tough to even entangle one. It would require a lot of effort. Even so, entangling 7 or 8 God Kings in the Second Realm would probably not be difficult. His real identity, I wonder which old fellow it is. Everyone concealed their aura and altered their appearance. They naturally suspected Luo Feng was an old figure in reality. Probably some peak existence in the Second Realm of Godly King. The team from Reincarnation Tower had never seen him before. It looks like they have another member now, they said. Although the white-haired palace master was surprised that Reincarnation Tower had an additional formidable member, he wasn't too concerned. In the land of origin, there were many more troublesome than Luo Feng, like Wind City Empress and Earth God King. If someone of their caliber were to appear, that would truly shake the entire land of origin. Let's go, there's no need to stay in this dream realm space any longer. Let's move to the next one, the white-haired palace master said. Let's go. The team from Two Realms Palace quietly left that space and headed towards the next dream realm space. Under the leadership of Wuxing God King, Luo Feng and the others quickly escaped from the pursuit of a gigantic stone monster. Haha, we all survived, Emperor Guisu laughed. Thanks to Brother Luo He, Wuxing God King looked at Luo Feng. Brother Luo He, your clone technique has been cultivated to an unimaginable level. There aren't many in the entire land of origin who can compare to you. Luo Feng smiled. There are still many. Emperors and monarchs who excel in cloning outnumber the fingers on one hand. I just have this technique going for me, Luo Feng said. I'm much worse in other areas. The previously agreed share distribution doesn't seem suitable now, Emperor Guisu said. Brother Luo He not only scouts for dangers and treasures. When facing strong enemies, he can also help intercept many foes. In that case, Guisu and I will each give half of our share to Brother Luo He, Wuxing God King said. That way Guisu, I, and Brother Luo He each have 30%. With Luo He's powerful avatar, I actually benefit, Cloud Sky God King laughed. While her share percentage seemed unchanged, the team's overall strength was stronger, and they found more treasures, hence her share was naturally larger. She was self-aware that with her contributions, having 10% was already quite generous. I won't decline then, Luo Feng was straightforward. That's the spirit, Emperor Guisu said. This time we were outsmarted by that winged woman, whose real identity I don't know, but I've encountered her several times in these treasure lands. She's a member of the Two Realms Palace. Two Realms Palace has calculated against us again. Wuxing God King was also quite annoyed. I just tried to track them too, but they're very good at hiding their traces and I couldn't detect any sign. In terms of tracking enemy trails, Wuxing God King is likewise extremely strong. The teams from Two Realms Palace generally have a Palace Master's avatar leading them, Emperor Guisu said. The Palace Master of Two Realms Palace, after all, belongs to an alien race, with a realm comparable to that of the ancestors of two countries. If he intends to hide, none of you can find him. At this moment, Luo Feng also understood why the two ancient countries were specifically targeting Two Realms Palace, Wanfa Tower, and Time-Space Lonely Boat. With these 3 major alien forces, numerously divided into teams and led by alien race powerhouses avatars to fight for fortunes, their perceptive and competitive strength in targeting top-tier treasures was much stronger than that of Reincarnation Tower. We'll find an opportunity later, Wuxing God King said. Brother Luo He, conflicts among different forces are a common occurrence. You will witness even more in the future, Emperor Guisu smiled. Luo Feng nodded. We should also leave this dream realm space. 2 palaces have searched here as well, so the easily found treasures are probably scarce now. Okay. Let's head to the next dream realm space. The team from Reincarnation Tower quickly left and continued to search another dream realm space. Inside this mountain forest space, Luo Feng left a world life form avatar here. This one held 1,000th of the energy reserves and would naturally absorb energy slowly and grow over time. This mountain forest space, previously explored by Reincarnation Tower and Two Realms Palace, holds few treasures. I expect it'll be quite peaceful for a while. Luo Feng sat cross-legged on a patch of grass. Dream realm creatures are usually in fixed territories. Only in very rare cases do they leave their territories. I'll try practicing the Great Destruction Heart Refining technique here. Luo Feng didn't rush to cultivate in the deeper spaces of the dream realm, as he still needed to accompany his companions to hunt for treasures, and the deep dream realm spaces placed too much strain on spiritual will, potentially affecting his combat performance. The middle layers of the dream realm's mountain forest space were more suitable. Explore stories on Empire. Boom. Upon initiating the Great Destruction Heart Refining Technique, it immediately transformed into a dark chaotic hole that enveloped the spiritual will, constantly squeezing, crushing, strangling, and annihilating the spiritual will. The illusions of the middle dream realm also continuously infiltrated Luo Feng's mind. The increasingly adverse environment naturally provided a more distinct tempering of the spiritual will. The slight stray thoughts influenced by the environment, losing stability, were naturally crushed and annihilated by the dark chaotic hole, making Luo Feng's spiritual will even purer. Cultivating the spirit is an everlasting endeavor. Luo Feng understood this. Because as time passes, new stray thoughts emerge. Constant self-tempering is the only way to make progress. If one stops moving forward, it might even lead to regression. This is also why some powerhouses in Thunder Ancient Country lose control halfway. They might suppress the residual wills in their bloodlines for a while, but as soon as stray thoughts arise and the mind wavers slightly, the residual wills can rebound and cause them to lose control. The environment of the dream realm is quite suitable for the Great Destruction Heart Refining Technique. Luo Feng calmly continued his cultivation, his other avatars accompanying Emperor Guisu and the others in their treasure hunt. In the middle space of the dream realm, although there were occasionally some terrifying dream realm creatures that even Luo Feng could not detect, when treasure hunting and being attacked by these creatures, with the strength of their team, they were still able to jointly respond. This team was incredibly powerful, with Emperor Guisu being domineering and the abilities of Wuxing God King being numerous. The two of them were already a strong combination, and now with the addition of Luo Feng, who had many avatars and was very good at entangling the enemy, the team's ability to handle risks had greatly increased. Ha ha ha, with Brother Luo He here, our exploration of the dream realm is much safer, Emperor Guisu said with a grin. That ultimate realm creature that was just now frantically chasing the other team members? In reality, those members were all transformations of Brother Luo He, laughed Wuxing God King. Cloud Sky God King also felt much more at ease. In the past, exploring the dream realm was terrifying and much more dangerous. Having one more powerful companion in the team made all the difference. I only have these avatar techniques, Luo Feng said with a smile. They sat by a stream, drinking and chatting, waiting for the results of Luo Feng's avatars scouting ahead. Suddenly, Luo Feng and the others looked towards the distance, where a team was fleeing at an extremely high speed. The team consisted of 9 figures, with the leader being a cloaked figure having 3 faces, one at the front and one on each side, each face scrutinizing the surroundings. Wanfa Tower. Emperor Guisu, Wuxing God King and Cloud Sky God King all tensed up, the smiles vanishing from their faces. Luo Feng also saw the cloaked figure within that team. Is that the Wanfa Tower Master? Luo Feng had not had any dealings with the Wanfa Tower Master and felt no fear, but he had also collected detailed intelligence on this Wanfa Tower Master. The founders behind the 3 major alien race forces, 2 Realms Palace, Wanfa Tower and Timespace Lonely Boat, all had different approaches. The 2 Realms Palace Master acted domineeringly and was the most aggressive, with 2 Realms Palace also having the greatest momentum. The Timespace Demon from the Timespace Lonely Boat was extremely low-profile, ruthless, and vicious in his actions, and even the 2 ancient countries feared this Timespace Demon the most. The Master of Wanfa Tower, it is said, mastered all techniques. Even if his abilities were restricted to the upper limit of the Primal Chaos realm. An uncountable number of secret techniques could transform the quality of the team under his command, making them the most difficult opponent to deal with. In the treasures realm, the most difficult to face head-on is the team led by the Wanfa Tower Master, said Emperor Guisu with some pressure, communicating telepathically. Let's quickly leave this dream realm space. And stay far away from them. Right, let's hurry and go, the farther from them the better. Wuxing God King also felt uneasy. Luo Feng inwardly sighed. Wanfa Tower Master. Even with his powerful abilities suppressed, just by leading a team, he still made beings at the peak of the 2nd level of God King realm like Emperor Guisu and Wuxing God King feel wary and even afraid. How terrifying would it be if his true body could descend? It's no wonder that on the land of origin, it is rumored that the true bodies of these 3 alien races are not inferior to the ancestors of the 2 countries. The Wanfa Tower Master leading his team spotted Luo Feng and his 4 companions from afar. It's the team from Reincarnation Tower, and compared to the past, they have 1 additional member with black scales and golden horns. All 3 faces of the Wanfa Tower Master scrutinized the Reincarnation Tower team. In an instant he observed from many aspects, studying and recorded a lot of information. I have locked onto them. If they continue to stay in this dream realm space, we can look for an opportunity to deal with them, instructed the Wanfa Tower Master telepathically. Yes, Master, the 8 members behind him replied, 6 of whom were at the 2nd realm of God King, while 2 were also invincible at the 1st realm of God King. They were a combination team handpicked by the Wanfa Tower Master. Following the secret techniques passed on by the Wanfa Tower Master, the 8 members working together could bring a qualitative change to the overall strength of the team. The members of Wanfa Tower greatly admired their master. Because he would often give them guidance and cultivation, he could be considered half a master. Phew. The distant Reincarnation Tower team quickly left, and in just a moment they were out of that dream realm space. They've left this dream realm space. The Wanfa Tower Master shook his head, too cautious. The dream realm contained an enormous number of spaces. Each space was independent, and once the Reincarnation Tower left that space, even the Wanfa Tower Master would have difficulty continuing to lock onto them. They are afraid of the Master. Master, there is no need to mind that reincarnation tower. One God King at the second realm directly called him Master. Indeed, within the internal members, the Wanfa Tower Master had taken on 15 direct disciples. In terms of teaching ability, he was even above the ancestors of the two countries and also above the alien races behind Two Realms Palace and Time-Space Lonely Boat. The internal unity of Wanfa Tower had a great relationship with the Master's willingness to teach the internal members. Luo Feng's team quickly left that dream realm space. Every time I meet the Wanfa Tower Master, I feel anxious. Wuxing God King couldn't help saying, I feel like none of my techniques are secret from him. Although his own strength is suppressed by the supreme rules, he is able to make his team exhibit overwhelming strength. Emperor Guisu shook his head. I've died at the hands of Wanfa Tower's team 3 times already. Died that many times? Luo Fong was surprised. MHM. Emperor Guisu nodded. Wanfa Tower's team works together perfectly during combat. It's as if they've calculated all our counter moves. No matter how we resist or struggle, it's hard to escape. I also have to rely on the boundary-breaking escape technique every time I escape. But when I use the boundary-breaking escape technique, I can't take any creatures with me. Wuxing God King shook his head. The boundary-breaking escape technique of Brother Witch Heart can instantly appear anywhere in the land of origin. It can even leave the source world. Theoretically, it holds the promise of reaching another source world, Emperor Guisu said. But I can't go, Wuxing God King shook his head. I need precise coordinates to have a chance of reaching another source world. Beyond the braided cage world. Even I would get lost. So at most I dash out, take a tour and then return to the source world. Amazing, Luo Feng exclaimed. Brother Witch Heart, you can actually fly and escape outside the braided cage world. When it comes to escape skills, Witch Heart truly is among the best in the land of origin, Emperor Guisu laughed. What does it feel like to fly and escape outside the braided cage world? Luo Feng was curious. Very dangerous. Wuxing God King said, outside the braided cage world lies the endless primordial space, filled with infinite primordial force. Once we are corroded by the primordial force, we creatures inside the cage can quickly be eroded into nothingness and die completely. In the end, we are still creatures inside the cage, while the real primordial lives can live comfortably in the primordial space, Wuxing God King said. Luo Feng understood. Cloud Sky God King often participated in teams and was very familiar with the means of Guisu and Witch Heart. Emperor Guisu said, we have run into teams from Two Realms Palace and teams from Wanfa Tower, and this time we have also explored 5 dream realm spaces so we can leave now. Greed is bad, Wuxing God King also nodded. The more dream realm spaces they explored, the more likely they could take a big fall one day. I agree, Luo Feng nodded. He had many avatars that had long been left in various dream realm spaces. He could take root here entirely. Let's hurry and go. I get a bit scared just seeing the Wanfa Tower Master, Cloud Sky God King also said. Let's go. And just like when they came, under Wuxing God King's hidden heaven escape technique, the entire team quietly returned and carefully passed through the dream realm entrance area, blocked by 2 ancient countries, finally making it back to the normal world of the land of origin. Phew. In the blink of an eye, the entire team crossed the vast distance from the dream realm entrance to Huangyao Mountain. Inside Huangyao Mountain, the 4 of them including Luo Feng finally relaxed completely. Haha, this exploration of the dream domain went very smoothly. Although we were sabotaged by the Two Realms Palace and also attacked by powerful dream realm creatures, it was much easier with little brother Luo He, Emperor Guisu laughed. Now let's distribute the treasures, Wuxing God King also said. Luo Feng and Cloud Sky God King's eyes shone. The treasures we took from the dream domain are well known to everyone. Together they are worth about 280 million merit points, Wuxing God King said. Sister Yun Tian will take 28 million merit points. The rest of us will each take 84 million merit points. Luo Feng also felt excited. Treasures worth over 80 million merit points? Entering coveted areas like infinite space, even for guest elders to exchange in the 2 great ancient countries, it would cost 50 million merit points. This income was something ordinary creatures at the first realm of Godly King could not amass in a lifetime. People like Emperor Tianquan who were at that level, their gains from raiding treasure areas were generally much less than Emperor Guisu's and Wuxing God King's tier. Yet Luo Feng's gain was equal to theirs. Clearly, the hundreds of avatars simultaneously restraining the entire Dream Realm creature tribes had impressed Guisu and Witch Heart, who acknowledged Luo Feng's contributions as no less than their own. Good, everything has been distributed. Wuxing God King quickly allocated the treasures, handing them over to the 3 companions. Luo Feng also received a spatial storage bag filled with many rare treasures, all uniquely fostered by the special environment of the Dream Domain and invaluable. However, Luo Feng did not cultivate the primordial bloodline, so most were useless to him. Do you know the detailed information about the treasures of the Dream Domain, Brother Luo He? Wuxing God King asked. Knowing their detailed value allows us to use them better and to sell them to other godly kings. I know, Luo Feng nodded. His master, Emperor Chu, had given him that information earlier. By the way, does anyone have 5-colored treasure medicine? The 5-colored treasure medicine was reportedly concocted from the heart of a sector beast which surpassed the godly king level, sold exclusively by the 2 ancient countries. Upon taking it, one's affinity with the great Tao of destruction origin could be significantly enhanced as if the Tao itself favored them. With this treasured medicine, cultivating the Great Tao of Destruction origin would be much smoother. The higher one's achievement in this area, the more effective the Great Destruction Heart Refining Technique could be. But a dose of the medicine cost 10 million merit points, a staggeringly high price. Over the long years, many doses of the 5-colored treasure medicine had been acquired by various Kuching God Kings. None here, Guisu, Witch Heart and Cloud Sky God King all shook their heads. 5-colored treasure medicine is rare. While some Kuching God Kings have exchanged for it, most have used it up long ago, Wuxing God King said. You can ask your master. He is an emperor after all. Luo Fong nodded. Now that this mission is over, let's disband, Emperor Guisu laughed. Let's gather for the next mission. All right. Until we meet again. Luo Fong and the others all replied with smiles, all very pleased with their haul. For Luo Fong, venturing out once and gaining treasures worth tens of millions of merit points was a significant boost to his cultivation journey. Naturally, he was willing to participate in some of the upcoming actions. Phew. Soon after, the 4 of them quietly dispersed and left Huangyao Mountain, each returning to their respective places. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos.